between the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, that's a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
From the 30 on second down, Winston. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. In the wild card win last week, he had just 2 catches, and now he's got his first one here. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And as a running back, you've got to be saying, where did he come from? He covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and he was able to stop his man before he got back to the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
Call it a gain of a yard, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Blake Gillikin on the punt now on 4th down.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Bears take over. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll start out here with the option left.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
On 1st down, Fields able to hit his target, Claypool. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. First carry now for David Montgomery. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line.
Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner, and with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. And they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. Well, these are not going to be easy on a cold, snowy night, but this one is up and through. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Just one catch for him last week in the wild card win, but getting involved early here and picks up the first. This is Ingram on 1st and 10.
And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going,
oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 14 yards into Chicago, first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receiver.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields.
And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Chicago.
Darnell Mooney.
41 yards.
And the Bears are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point through the snowflakes. Up and good. And it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jameis to throw it. And that is incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That's taken on the 25. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Looking downfield for Jones. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 41. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well. Here's Winston. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he's got room. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 39 yards there. A big one for an offense that has not found the end zone yet. That's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown. Alvin Kamara taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Saints have got it back to within a score. And it's no good. He missed it wide to the left. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the fourth quarter, but you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's one interception, we're still in the first half, I'm about to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be.
And this will be caught at the 30. Touchdown, Chicago. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum, but not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
touchdown. Here's Santos to kick this one away.
Taken at the goal line.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. He's at the 40. The 20. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Saints. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Fields throw there, hauled in by Claypool.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Oh, Montgomery just unable to twist free as they hit him short of the line to gain.
Montgomery, they'll run for it. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
And meanwhile, Winston's throw caught by his receiver, Hill. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
The kick by Lutz is good, and that'll get the lead down to 5.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Back to Montgomery on second down.
And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run.
Play fake, now Fields to throw. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number one. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And some room to work. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw.
This one swung out to Montgomery.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Justin Fields
in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Bears will extend their lead here just before halftime.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC Divisional Round matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway.
This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work to run it a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
And they run the option on second down.
He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a third down. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. 1 yard is the gain, and it'll be a Chicago first down.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give them a short yardage situation here for second down. give to Montgomery out of the gun.
And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
And they gave themselves options there on the third down play. Were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Play action. It's Fields. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
A handoff for Herbert. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Fields now to throw. And that will be incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Oh, it's a wobbler here. Now Landry. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Winston. Got an open man. It's Olave. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. It's a give to the right. Ingram. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Winston now to throw on 1st down. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Well, it's a cold night, and whether you're a quarterback that wears a glove on his throwing hand or not, that ball is a rock, Brandon. You've got to really drive it through the cold and the wind, or it can take off on you. And that may have been what happened there.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 8 on the keeper and a 1st down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
How about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Taken down by Pete Werner.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense the next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
One quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. From the 44, Fields. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Pete Werner. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 32-yard line. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway. So in Saints territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. On play action, Fields. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Montgomery on the counter. Room here to run. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
85 yards rushing for him now in the ball game as he is trying to will his guys to the championship round next weekend. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
This is caught. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that 1st down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
Running for it, Montgomery. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. David Montgomery taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bears are moving closer to a date now in the NFC Championship game as they're able to extend this 4th quarter lead. Santos with the extra point. And that will make this a 19-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 36 yards on the play. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you
touchdown. Chris Olave, 43 yards. And the Saints have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now 1st downs are key. They want to keep that clock moving, up by 2 scores as they try to cement their place in the conference championship round in 1 week's time. They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 106 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in this divisional round matchup.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Off play action, Fields. And that'll be incomplete. Darnell Mooney, the target there.
And that'll bring up 2nd down.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Fields leaving it with Montgomery here on the option.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Chicago.
David Montgomery, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Bears continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
Apparently the week off hasn't hurt him one bit. 1,000-yard rush in the regular season, got his 1st touchdown here in the playoffs. Perhaps the week off energized him.
A great article in the paper this morning basically saying that they would not have won the division without him, and he's not their only piece, but I think that's a fair statement.
It's easy to say it this way. He's their main cog.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started.
Probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to the...
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Out left and hauled in by Arcega-Whiteside.
will go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating, there he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Donald Parham, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Back to throw, Fields.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
Pete Werner, his 2nd sack of the night.
And they're moving on to the conference championship.